What's going on, Tilray traders and investors? It's Rod with POW Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Today is Thursday, July 3rd. Hope you're doing well. In this video, we're going to be discussing Tilray brands. We'll give an update on the Nasdaq warning, the reverse split. Getting a lot of questions about this, so rather than going through thousands of comments and replying individually, I thought it'd be easier to just make a video, and then that way everybody can be up to speed. I posted a video about this before, but sometimes people forget or they don't watch the full video. So I want to try to keep this one as short as possible. So before we get to it, make sure to smash the like. If you're new, you can subscribe, take the bell. You'll be notified on any future updates. So if there's any more pertinent updates towards Tilray or reverse split, you'll be notified. And like I said, you won't have to keep checking. You'll just be get a notification on your phone when you tick that bell. And as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Follow us over on X as well. Formerly Twitter, handle for that is @GroupPOW to make sure you never miss a beat. And full disclosure, I do own Tilray. It's my largest MJ portfolio holding. Also, I posted this video yesterday. Tilray Brands finally breaks out, jumps 20%. I mentioned we had a falling wedge pattern that broke bullish, and the target was 53 cents. And we'll take a look at the price chart and what to expect in terms of the price action in the days, weeks, months ahead in just a moment. But you can see today we hit 52 cents. That target was 53. We came within a penny or just under 2%. And then there was an hourly bull flag as well that formed. So we're going to take a look at that in just a moment. If you haven't seen this video, I highly encourage you to check it out as well. But this is the update here. So Tilray faces Nasdaq delisting over share price woes. So they have until September 21st, 2025 to regain compliance. That's 180 days or 6 months. And then they could get an extension from there. So to achieve the compliance after the warning, the company or any company just needs to exceed $1 for at least 10 consecutive business days within this time frame. So essentially, if they close above $1 for 10 consecutive trading days before September 21st, they would regain compliance. But if you remember VFF, Village Farms, in 2003, they got a warning and then a 180-day extension. So they had a whole year to regain compliance, which they did. And then they got another one a year later, and they got another extension, and then they regain compliance organically. So technically, from September, you would just count that out, right? So from right now, right, like just think about it. We have, let's say, July 21st. So that's August 1, 2. We have 2 months to regain compliance from July 21st. And then you would just count 6 months out there from September. So you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'd have until March of 2026 if we get the extension. And they mentioned recently that shareholders approved the reverse split. So there was a proposed reverse stock split, but they're basically putting it on pause. They're going to reevaluate the timing of this. And shareholders did approve the range. So a lot of people are asking me, well, what's the reverse split going to be? Well, it hasn't been enacted yet, right? It's been approved, and there was a very large amount of people and shareholders that didn't want it to go through. There was about 57% who voted in favor of, so for, and then around 41% was against, and then there was like a couple percent that abstained from it. Didn't really care either way. So essentially, the board received approval, but was looking at, in my opinion, the 41% of people that said they didn't want it to go through. So in layman's terms, essentially, they have approval to do it. The board, it's up to the board of directors. They could do it, and they can only do it within this range, a 1 to 10 or a 1 to 20. They can't do like a 1 for 30 or whatever, right? It can only be within that range. But like I said, they're pausing the implementation of the split while assessing the best timing and stock price scenarios. So they have until September 21st. They could get an extension, and then like I said, you're well into almost the second quarter of 2026. In my opinion, it'd be smart to wait because we have more than likely rescheduling coming up. That's going to send these stock prices shooting like hundreds of percent more than likely. And there's a good chance that it happens by fall. Also, the seasonality effect. Usually MJ performs well after the summer into the fall. And we have the stock market at all-time highs ripping. And I think we're starting to see market breadth and expansion open up to a lot of these small caps in these high-risk sectors. And that should bode well for MJ. And then also the fact that we could see safer banking before the midterms in the U.S., it just makes sense to wait, in my opinion. But anything's possible, right? We know there's some benefits to doing the reverse split. They get to maintain their Nasdaq listing. It cuts down on the amount of fees that they have to pay. There's a few different reasons. It attracts more institutional investors. And just the optics of it, right? But essentially, there is no reverse split right now. Everybody keeps saying, when's the reverse split? There is none, right? There's only there's only the approval, but they haven't officially confirmed anything yet. So again, it's up to the board. They can do a 1 for 10 or a 1 for 20 within that range. They could do a 1 for 15 if they wanted to, is how I understand it. So it has to be within that range. They just can't do a 1 for 30. They'd have to get approval from shareholders again if they wanted to do any more. But essentially, that is it in a nutshell. So September 21st, if they get an extension, we're looking at into March, and then they could regain compliance organically or implement the reverse split. We don't know yet. So we just have to take it as is for now, and we just have to be patient. So as of right now, we're just looking for that dollar mark, get 10 days above that, and then we'll regain compliance. And then, like I said, if we get some of these other catalysts strung together, then it should be smooth sailing from here. Also, one thing I wanted to mention is we did have a bunch of POW Algo alerts go off on Tilray, and I mentioned in my video yesterday, actually just got a POW Algo alert emailed to me about CDC hitting micro overbought, and Tilray was hitting overbought. We had triple bullish thunder crossover on Tilray as well. I mentioned in this video, like I said from yesterday, that we had a falling wedge pattern breakout targeting 53 cents. We basically hit that today, and we had an inverse head and shoulders and an hourly bull flag that confirmed today as well. So if you haven't already taken a look at the POW Algo service, I highly encourage you to check that out. You're going to get email alerts directly to your email. There's I think there's close to 60 assets, stocks, and crypto in there now, and almost 400 alerts. Just on Tilray alone, we have about 25 alerts on that one. So you're going to get ultra overbought, you're going to get oversold alerts, you're going to get triple and bullish triple thunder crossover, which happened just here this week. You can see we closed above the 10-week moving average, and the stochastic and the MACD cross bullish. You're going to get alerts about that. You're going to get alerts about head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders. There's 24 different alerts. Like I said, golden crosses, all that stuff. And yeah, it just makes it a lot easier. I'm getting a lot of great feedback about it. But as you can see, we had an hourly bull flag here today. So not only did we have that inverse head and shoulders with a target of 43 cents, we also had the falling wedge pattern breakout at 53 cents. And then today we had an hourly bull flag. As you can see here, you just take your measured move there from the low to the high, move it out to your 0.32 fib, and it's saying the target is 55 cents. So that's what we call confluence. When multiple pattern signals, indicators are all saying the same thing, then we're going to be more confident in that happening. Plus, MJ is just really starting to heat up again, and Tilray specifically finally waking up from the slumber. But as you can see, that hourly bull flag target is roughly about 6% away. And again, if we zoom out here to the 2 hour, you can see we had this inverse head and shoulders, and we hit that target perfectly. And then we just zoom out here to the daily time frame. Actually, it was the weekly that I had it drawn on, and I'll have to get rid of some of these lines so it's a little easier to see. But if we scroll out here and just get rid of these lines here, you can see the falling wedge pattern that I referred to yesterday in the video, where we broke down. We had that weekly bear flag target of 32 cents. We hit 35. We broke out of the falling wedge pattern, and then you just take your measured move from that, and it gives you 53 cents, right? You just take the width of that and then go to where we broke out, which was here, and it was saying, boom, target 53 cents. So looking good, and we'll want to get above 56 cents. If we can get above 56 cents, which is the 100-day moving average, we got a lot of runway until about $1. You can see here nothing until the 200-day moving average at 99 cents, and then we have nothing until the 50 weekly there on the weekly moving averages until $1.10. So it's looking good. We're finally waking up. Just to give you the ultra oversold indicators here, you can see here we hit ultra oversold. There was multiple indicators signaling this, and yeah, just look at all these ultra oversold indicators you could have entered, get those alerts essentially, and right now you'd be up about 24%. And this is one thing that we've noticed with MJ stocks is how manipulated they are. And you're better off to wait for a couple of ultra oversold alerts is what I've noticed. If this was like the S&P 500, ultra oversold is factoring in the 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily time frame. When they're all oversold simultaneously, you'll get an email and an alert sent out by the POW Algo service. If you're in the POW Group private community, you'll see it there as well. And it's a proprietary in-house algorithm. And like I said, we have close to 60 stocks and cryptos and almost 400 alerts now, and about 25 just for Tilray alone. So like I said, if this was another asset that isn't heavily manipulated like MJ, we would probably kind of give a little bit more credence to these ultra oversold. But like I said, with how manipulated the MJ space has been, I like to kind of be a little bit more patient. That's one thing I've learned about this sector. So overall, getting a lot of great feedback about the POW Algo service. Honestly, I can't stop talking about it because it's just amazing. It's cutting down, like, the amount of time I spend on charts, right? It's cut that down by probably half. I don't even have to look at it. And then when I get the alert, I just go and confirm it, and then I can act upon it, right? So if you want to do a little bit more frequent trades, personally, I'm just, most of my MJ right now, I'm just holding and I'm swinging it. But, eventually I'm going to be getting into more trades, especially with my crypto, right? Because I own a lot more crypto than I do MJ. But soon I'm going to be looking to take probably 80 to 90% of my profits on crypto and rotate about 10 to 20% of those profits into more beaten down MJ. And with that cash from the profits that I take from crypto, I'm going to be doing a lot more frequent trading with. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. We'll continue the conversation there. It's Rod with POW Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth, and we'll catch you again on the next video.